I got a story to tell. Make it short as possible because I don't know how much time you got, but it reminds me of a very interesting event that happened in our lives. It was once we got here to Anchorage, and we were, I was the minister at the Church of Christ here, the Turnigan Church, and we had a lot of things we discussed as a church family. It was often with men and women both. It wasn't like we had a men's council or anything. But so whenever we had a congregational thing that we discussed, we usually did it all together. So one day we were having a Bible study. I think it was on a Wednesday or something like that, Thursday, something. It was a midweek Bible study, and one of the men from the church, he said, I've been watching the way that we do our communion service, and I'm really troubled. And he said, when the Lord was here, he said, let the children come to me. And then he referred to the Passover, and he said, which member of the family is left out of the Passover feast? And, the answer, of course, is no one. Everybody participated, regardless of their status or age. Everybody was involved. And, our communion service is obviously a mirror of that service. And so he said, basically, I have a problem with leaving the kids out of it. And, we considered it as a group, and we talked about it. And basically, nobody had a problem with bringing unbaptized kids into the communion service based upon let the children come to me, and based upon, the strategy of including them in something and not excluding them. Because inclusion and not excluding, they sound like the same thing, but it's a very powerful statement when you exclude somebody from something. When we exclude our children, they might be exploring the faith, even if it's church week to week. And so whatever level of involvement they have, if you exclude them from something as important as a memorial feast for Jesus, we opted as a congregation, and the next Sunday we offered the communion to children as well, and we just passed the plate, and not everybody, it's not like we made a big deal out of it in order to say, what are you gonna give your kids communion? And it was more like, hey, if you want to give your kids communion, don't pass the tray by them, just let them dip in. And that became our practice. So it was an unusual thing, though. It's something that if somebody was to visit that congregation, they might not notice. But we definitely made an issue to make the kids feel like they could take it if they wanted to. Now, does that mean it's got the same effect? Well, maybe not. Who knows? But like you said, when you do it all the time and you kind of lose the intimacy, and it's kind of like know what the guy's going to say next, and it'll take about 7 minutes and all, kind of loses something anyway. So, it could be argued that what good is it for those people to take it? You know what I mean? That's the story.